Hi, this is Charlie Adams, and welcome to Boilers Live from Mad Mushroom on East State Street. We're here each Wednesday with the Boilermakers. We get ready for the upcoming game and talk about this exciting potential-filled season. We've had Aiden O'Connell and Payne Durham, and tonight we've got senior tight end Payne Durham, a Georgia native who's doing a great job. A Mackey candidate is one of the top tight ends in the country. We're going to talk to him about all kinds of things, his upbringing, but first and foremost, we're going to talk to him about this season, the upcoming Syracuse game. Syracuse undefeated. The Boilers headed to upstate New York for that ball game. We'll talk about the Indiana State impressive performance and much more. Joining us now is Payne. Well, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
It is super to have you here. And we've got so much to talk about. How's your week been going, just all in all, on and off the football field?
It's been going well. Locking in a lot of time at the facility, just like I do every week, breaking film down and stuff like that. But other than that, relaxing, kind of getting my legs back under me, and I'm feeling good.
Oh, good. Well, later on, we're going to talk to you about you grew up playing lacrosse mainly.
I did.
And what a high school coach did to you, a challenge, I guess. We're going to find out about that and about growing up in Georgia. About last year, that great run and a catch and run against Tennessee, which was amazing. But first of all, let's talk about Boiler Nation is excited about what you did as a team against a team you were supposed to beat. You all came out focused, beat Indiana State 56-0. Tell me about the mindset going in and how that all played out.
Yeah, definitely. We, went into the week prepared for it just like we would any other game. Coach Brown preaches it all the time. You never really want to overlook or even underlook an opponent because you can definitely do that. And, we knew we didn't want to make it interesting, close ball game by any means. We wanted to go in, take care of business, and have an opportunity for some younger guys, lower on the depth chart to play, which they did, which was really cool to see.
Yeah.
It's a testimony to a lot of people's hard work, and they finally get to get on the field. And it's really cool for them. So, we definitely went in prepared just like any other game and executed pretty well.
Well, you talk about that Penn State game. I mean, you had them up until the end. Mm-hmm. That's an emotional loss. I mean, national TV a Thursday. You had a couple more days. Mm-hmm. Tell me about how you all came out of that because you have so much more to play for. Can still win the division a lot, and it just seems like you guys got the right mindset.
Definitely. As you said, emotional for sure. That's one we spend all off season looking at and all summer, all camp. So you're preparing for and to go out and kind of let it slip out of our hands. I'll give credit to them. They're a heck of a team, but I think we hurt ourselves a lot that game. Yeah. So going into the week, we had to tell ourselves, as you said, all our goals are still in front of us.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, it didn't kill our season by any means.
Right.
And, we came out of it healthy and knew what we needed to build on and work on. So, we have our 24-hour rule where you can be sad and upset, pissed off for 24 hours, and then normally it's Monday, but in that case, Saturday, it's time to work again. So that's what we did, and I think we did a good job of kind of bouncing back from it.
You sure did. We're here live at Mad Mushroom, home of the famous cheese sticks. I'll have to ask you about that. Sounds like you put away a few things here over the years.
I sure have. I'm no stranger to this building.
It's an awesome place. Well, going back to the game against Indiana State at Ross 8, Aiden O'Connell was like a surgeon. I mean, 19 of 21. The first game, he was about 50%. And people were saying, well, maybe he was rushing a few things, what have you. But against the Sycamores, it was to you, everybody's. And I mean, Charlie caught a bunch, as he has been so far. But you look at Tyrone Tracy and others. What did you think of Aiden's performance? It was almost like last year's stretch run.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the Aiden. That's who Aiden is. That's the way he can play all the time. Penn State, first game of the season, they were doing a lot of stuff on defense. Like I said, very talented defense, well-coached team. I think a lot of times, even some of the balls he threw me and him didn't have perfect timing.
Right.
And a lot of the other receivers kind of, not really hitting the stride like they're supposed to. So, we bounced back and we worked on that. And what you saw Saturday is the Aiden that we all know and love. And he can do stuff like that. It's just surgeon, like you said, clinical, and that's what he's good at. So.
Well, talk about yourself. You've just caught a few passes this year. I've read some stories that, the best is to come for Payne. Mm-hmm. It's like, the Charlie Jones story is amazing. 21 receptions, 286 yards, 4 touchdowns, a lot of targets. And I know Coach Braum wants to even spread it out more. Tyrone Tracy really stepped up in a way. Talk about that, the potential of utilizing all the weapons, including yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I only have a few catches, I think 4 this season. Yeah. And, me and my position coach talk about it all the time. If we're winning games, I could care less about reception. I could care less about stats. I want to win the game. I truly mean that. I think I was targeted a few more times than I caught against Penn State. Some of those, like I said, the time, got to get my head around quicker and stuff like that. But going to what your question was Charlie and Tyrone. Like you said, Charlie's story is awesome. I live with him actually, so I do. So, his work ethic is unbelievable. I mean, the way he prepares in his bedroom, he'll do his stretches every night. Really? And it drives me crazy because he'll come out of the kitchen and make his smoothies in his blender every night, which, I'm trying to relax and then go to sleep. So I don't know if anyone saw it, but Penn State and Indiana State, when he scored, we have a little blender celebration.
That's what you do? Yeah.
Someone holds the blender. It's kind of a little inside joke for us. But, his work ethic is off the charts, and I'm happy he's at a place now that can use him the way he should be used. And Tyrone, same thing. I don't think he's exploded yet like Charlie has, but he definitely has the potential and capability to do that. And some other guys, TJ Mershon, Brock Thompson, Deion Burks is up there. Me, Paul, I think the tight ends. We're ready when our number's called for sure. So really all depends on the game plan. I'm not stressing not getting that many balls. If I have to block and do that for my team, I'll do it any day of the week. So
we're talking with Payne Durham, a senior tight end here at Mad Mushroom. My family and I, we had several dipping sauces last week with the cheese sticks. And this is Boilers Live. I want to thank Brett Douglas and Della Monroe and Tom Brew and everybody that makes this possible. Started basketball last year, and here we are in football season. Well, let's move ahead. And right before we talk about Syracuse, when I was watching on the Big Ten Network the other day, they talked about the camaraderie on this team, that there are a lot of players that have been around 4 or 5. Well, Aiden's been around 6. But they said you guys seem to really, really like being around each other.
Definitely. This is my 5th season here, and by far this team is the closest team we've ever had. We have a bunch of guys that have been together for a long time, but even the transfers, even the Charlies and the Tyrones, and even the young guys, I think people came in and fit in very well to the kind of culture we have in the locker room right now. And definitely by far the closest. I mean, we hang out all the time. We go get dinner. It's unbelievable. It's bigger than football kind of friendships and stuff. I mean, I went to Aiden's wedding. All those guys will be in my wedding. It's kind of, just the family you're building inside the locker room is definitely the best this year.
We'll have to touch on that down the road. Now, is there a wedding coming up?
No. Okay. Very hypothetical.
Okay. There was 2 ways to approach that.
No, not for me.
Before we get on, also when you talk about this team, the running backs the other day, I mean, you got down to Devin Mockabee and Dylan Downing, and it was like, what you guys got? Like, you got King, you got about 4 outstanding backs.
Yeah, we got a few more too that we're battling some injuries. They didn't get in, but I mean, our backs are awesome. Coach Barclay does a great job with them. King is awesome. Kobe is the new guy, and he's doing a really good job. And Dylan's always been the hard worker. Dylan's transferred from UNLV a few years ago. He's a walk-on, but, I mean, he comes in there and he busts his tail like anyone in the building. So happy to see him get in. And then Devin Mockabee, I think someone called him the slippery wet bar of soap last year. It might have been his coach, in fairness, but it's true. I mean, he's a hard dude to bring down. We see him practice all the time. I mean, he's slippery. And so for him to go out there and show that little double stiff arm touchdown, it was really cool to see that for him.
Well, let's talk about Syracuse. They are 2-0. They beat Louisville. You got to go up to the Dome, which is something that's been a challenge for teams for decades. And they have a kind of unique defense, from what I understand. What's the word on the Orangemen of Syracuse?
Yeah, so like you said, they have a very unique defense. They do a lot of things. They do a lot of things well. I think they're a well-coached team. They play hard. And, I don't really watch their offense or anything, so I can't tell. I can't speak on that. But yeah, I mean, they got a lot of guys returning on that defense, and I think they do a really good job. I think we're going to have to be very focused and very locked in throughout this week, which we have been. I think we've had a good week. But even tomorrow, tonight, and even before the game. We got to keep studying, keep focusing, going over kind of game plans because they're going to give us a lot of stuff and we have to be ready to adjust. And the Carrier Dome, like you said, we've been practicing inside all week, music blaring every minute of practice. So we've been locked in. Thankfully last year I think we did a good job on away game environments. So hopefully we can continue doing that.
You talk about these next two games before you get back into the Big Ten. A lot of people think this is kind of a statement game because it's going to be hard. And if you win it, and then you got another challenge next week, you get ready for that October slate. Now, regardless, it doesn't affect your Big Ten chances, but there's really this is a game that's important.
Oh no, yeah, we talked about that in the locker room yesterday and today. Just this game means a lot. This game means a lot for us. They're a really good team. They got momentum. They're at home. We got to go up there. We felt like we definitely let some people down in game one. Fans were really excited, and so this is our kind of chance to roll back and say this is what we can do. This is how we can play. So we need to go up there and do that.
Looking back to last year, that amazing finish, that stretch of games going into Nashville, your season as a junior, the Wisconsin game, take us back to that. 9 catches, 112 yards, a touchdown. Was that maybe your best game or one of?
Yeah, I think statistically, I think that was my best game. I could have cleaned up a lot of stuff that game for sure. I think I had a fumble or interception, whatever you want to call it. But that Wisconsin defense was really good. That was probably one of the best defense I think I've ever played in my career.
Wow.
So it was a cool game. Wish we would have came out on top for sure. But I think statistically that would be my best game, I believe.
Now, talking about the Tennessee game, that catch you made, you got spun around and down you went. It was part of an 85-yard day, 65 yards. Do you still hear about it, the clip? And I saw also that you said one time that your speed, once you broke loose, what they call world-class speed.
World-class, yeah. I don't hear about it anymore. I really tried not to focus on it after the fact because, we didn't have a game after. So I'm lying. I did enjoy it for a little bit. But, I think outside of my plays that game, I think that game as a team was a very complete game. I think there was a lot of factors against us. Me and Garrett Miller, my other tight end, had a unknown illness that we were both, I think, combined. We threw up, I think it was like 19 times during that game.
Wow.
We both had IVs before the game and at halftime. We're missing David George, Milton Mackey, I think that game. We're playing in Nashville against Tennessee. It was an away game for us. So I think it was a testament of what we can do and pull together. And I know we can find that again this year. We just kind of got to believe in ourselves, pull together, and repeat that.
You talk about Purdue football. After you leave, that day will come. What do you think is the future of it with the culture you guys have built with what Coach Brom did coming in here in 2017?
Definitely.
What could you tell Purdue folks out there as far as the future?
Yeah, I'm very excited for the future. Part of the reason I came here when I was getting recruited was Coach Brom. I trusted in his plan to develop something here, and he had a season under his belt. He was recruiting. I was his first recruiting class, technically. And, he was talking about the vision he had for the future. And so far, everything in that vision has came true for me. So, I think it's awesome. I think this program, this school is heading in the right direction. I think it's bigger than football. I think the whole athletic department is really going in a good direction. There's a lot of stuff we have now that I didn't have when I was a freshman here. We're building a tunnel. We're doing renovations to the stadium. And the players, our recruiting classes are getting better, and we're getting good players, and we're recruiting character, I think, which is huge because a lot of places just go after big name guys or whatever. We're bringing guys in that the fans are going to be proud to call Boilermakers, which I think is a huge thing for this school. So I think the future is very exciting, and one day when they kick me out of this place, I'm excited to be an alum and come back and just kind of see what I helped and me and my brothers helped create. So.
Sure. And we're going to talk about that, your future, growing up in Georgia, outside of Atlanta, lacrosse, the football, your infamous mullet maybe from back in the day in lacrosse. And you're going to find it so interesting what the football coach did to challenge Payne that got him on the gridiron as a senior. This is Boilers Live from Mad Mushroom, and we'll be back after this.
Saw this sign that said, get 2 hours of sleep in 20 minutes. For me, I was like, okay, if that's even half true, maybe this will be the thing. But I really didn't have a lot of optimism. I was just hoping it would work. And so I walked up to the booth. They set me up with the headphones and they put the disc on my wrist and put on the eye mask. And the way I can describe what it felt like and what I went through, it was almost like with all that exhaustion and all that stress and everything, it was almost like there was a tornado going on in my head. It was like, if you can imagine just stress, anxiety, frustration, all these things just constantly swirling and swirling. And as soon as the music came on, it was almost like someone just stopped the tornado. And it was just this massive amount of calm that I had. And it was like my brain said, thank you. And I just knocked out. I was completely gone. I think I was snoring in like 5 or 6 minutes. I can laugh with people. I don't get irritated. I don't get frustrated. Stuff that used to really get under my skin, it would cause me to snap and be really angry at anybody, my fiance, people I really cared about, people I didn't want to hurt, people I didn't want to be mean to. That doesn't happen anymore like it used to. I can just actually be there with them and enjoy that time. You know, I tell people all the time that, like, for me at least, using New Calm, it was a complete night and day difference, but for me, it actually was. It was something where life was quite literally one way. Before I was using New Calm, I was completely locked in a life that I don't think anybody would want to be. It was a purgatory of just stress and exhaustion. But then afterward, it's like, now it's like, holy shit, I can actually like breathe, I can see, I can do what I want to do with my life. And the way that I use New Calm is really, I try to use it as often as I can. The most common time that I'll use a really quick break in the middle of the day if I can get it, because when you're in that middle of the day and your brain is going and you're at that highest level where you're super alert, you're super stressed, I find it incredibly effective to be able to actually take a minute and be able to reset yourself in the middle.
This is Boilers Live. Charlie Adams here at Mad Mushroom with Payne Durham, Purdue tight end. We've been talking about the team so far, the upcoming game, and now more into his life. First of all, you've come to Mad Mushroom many times. Do you have any preferences, or do you kind of a little of this?
No, it's the sticks for sure. It's always the sticks, and 4 blue cheeses on the side of them.
Really?
Yeah.
4 blue cheeses?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a big blue cheese. I drown them in blue cheese. So I don't even know if I taste the cheese or the ingredients, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, let's get into, first of all, what you finished your undergrad, right? Mm-hmm. What was that?
So I graduated last December in selling and sales management. So I did that, and now I'm getting my master's in technology, leadership, and innovation.
What is that like? What, say, after pro football, you're 38 years old. What do you think you'll be doing?
I mean, at that point, hopefully I'm retired, sitting on a beach. But no, I into the sales world. I grew up and my dad was a salesman. So it's kind of something I've always wanted to do and had interest in. So after football, hopefully I'll get into sales.
What's been your hardest class at Purdue? Has there been one undergrad where a few days in you go, oh boy?
Accounting was always a struggle, and it was probably partially my fault. I didn't pay as much attention as I probably should have, but that one always seemed to keep me up at night just a little bit later. But the rest of them were all practical, real-world stuff that I actually enjoyed learning about and knew that it would help me in the future. No, I'm not saying accounting was not, but stuff I enjoyed doing.
So you're from Sewanee, Georgia, near Atlanta, born William Payne Durham. At what point did you decide to go with Payne over William?
I honestly don't think it was my choice. I think it was always Payne. My dad wanted to name me Major, and then my mom said Major Payne. It's not going to work. Payne was on my mom's side, and my dad's name was William Bill. So I think they settled with William, but it was always Payne for sure. Yeah, I never remember a time going by William.
Tell us about your family growing up and what you have back home.
Definitely. So my dad still lives in Sewanee, just outside of Atlanta. Parents are split up. Mom's down in Bradenton, Florida. Yeah. So I have kind of best of both worlds. Whenever I want to go home, all my friends are in Atlanta, or I can go sit on the beach. So it's awesome. And then I have an older sister who's married, living in Sewanee as well. She's moving up to Charleston here soon.
Wow.
Her and her husband both work at the church, and they're going to Charleston and keep doing that.
So did you grow up in the church there in Sewanee?
Yeah, it was near Sewanee, but the same one my sister and her husband worked and met at, actually. So, I grew up there.
Well, let's talk about your athletic background. Tell us about how you got into lacrosse, and you were staying in it. From what I understand, football just wasn't your cup of tea those 9th, 10th, 11th grade years.
Correct. my dad played college football, Division II in Georgia. So growing up, it was football. A lot of people like to say never played till senior year, but I did play youth ball up until 8th grade, and picked up lacrosse in the 5th grade, I believe. A man by the name of Bob Lombardo came down from Long Island, New York, and kind of set up shop. And I was playing baseball with my friends at the time. A couple of my friends got into lacrosse. I started checking it out, and I was like, man, this looks fun. So, slowly but surely, I got my first stick, started practicing, and my dad was a big baseball fan, so it was kind of hard. Hey, Dad, I don't really want to play baseball anymore. But picked that up. I think it was 5th or 6th grade, and loved it. And lacrosse recruiting is a little bit different from football. They start a lot earlier.
Okay.
At least back then, I think. Yeah. There might have been a rule change, but so I was getting recruited in 8th grade, and for lacrosse, and then football. I've been playing it my whole life. It's kind of fizzling out. So I said, okay, I'll just play lacrosse in high school. Yeah. Have fun in the fall with my friends, and I'm gonna play lacrosse in college. So that was the plan up until my spring of my junior year.
Wow. Yeah. Tell us this story.
Yeah, definitely. So my first 3 years, high school football coach, knew him really well. Nice guy. His daughter was in my grade. We got along, good friends. And he never really tried, never said anything. And if he would have tried, I probably wouldn't have. Said, no, play lacrosse is my thing. So he left after my junior year season, and we got a new guy, Reggie Stansel, in. And he came from Norcross, which is another powerhouse in my county. And he came in, and we're at a spring pep rally.
Okay.
Maybe in the middle of lacrosse season, maybe before, I don't remember. Right. But we were doing a dunk contest, and I was in it. Me and I had Devin Vassell, who plays for the Spurs now. Wow. He's one of my best friends. So, I mean, he was in it. And so we're dunking, we're doing our thing or whatever. And Coach Stansel comes up to me, and I knew who he was. I mean, I'd seen him. And he goes, hey, how come you've never played football? And I was like, not really my thing, Coach. I had it all set up in my mind. I was like, I'm play lacrosse. That's my thing. And he was like, well, will lacrosse get you to college for free? And lacrosse doesn't. There's only 13 and a half, 12 and a half scholarships. So, all the offers that I had for lacrosse were partial and trying to get academic. And he was wearing a Peachtree Ridge football shirt. And I said, no, sir, lacrosse won't give me to college for free. And he points at the word football, and he said, that will. Wow. And I was like, maybe. I was still on the fence. And he goes, how about this? I make you a deal. If I make this 3-point shot, you come out to at least a summer workout and tell me if you like it. And I was like, all right, whatever, man. You're not going to make this. I know in my head I'm a lacrosse player. God's going to blow a gust of wind or something. In the gym. But he sat there, and I think he made about 8 in a row. Wow. Yeah. And easy 8, too. He wasn't even trying. So I was like, all right, parents raised me to be a man of my word. So I'm going to go do this one workout, make him happy. Yep. And whatever. And at the time, I had a bunch of friends playing football, obviously. So I went out there and just had the day of my life with them. And I mean, it was like weights and conditioning. So it was like, well, I was so used to doing it with my lacrosse friends and doing it with football friends, and kind of seeing that I could keep up and stuff like that. It was really cool. So never really looked back from that. And then first game that my senior season, ran out of the tunnel and seeing the student section and all my friends. And, in Georgia, they pile in the stands. So it was really cool. And that's kind of where I fell in love with it again, I guess, just seeing all those people and doing that. So.
That's an amazing story. So, Payne, you got your 12th grade year. At what point did the football recruiting come along, and where did Purdue fit in with other schools?
So it was actually kind of funny. My head coach, Stansel, I owe a lot of whatever this is to him for sure. And then a guy by the name of Bradley Coleman, who recently passed away, but he was coach, best friend, mentor, is everything to me. And those guys really brought me under their wing and taught me and just everything about football. So it's funny that we did 7-on-7 tournaments, and I'll never forget this. My Bradley Coleman, the coach that I'm talking about, had played at Southern University in Louisiana, and he had reached out to his former coach there, who was at North Texas, and he said, hey, we got this guy you need to look at. And so North Texas was actually the first school to reach out before I even played a snap of high school football. I was 7-on-7. And small world story, that coach at North Texas ended up coaching here for about 2 years. He's our special teams coach. But so they were the first school to talk to me. Purdue, I believe, actually was the second school to come talk to me in person. and they didn't offer me right away. I think they want to do the whole eye test and everything. And then Missouri offered me, and I had originally committed to Missouri. Purdue, they told me just, hey, come look, come check it out. And, I wanted to give them the credit that they talked to me, one of the first ones. So I said, okay, I'll come on a visit, but I am committed to Missouri. I'm going to Missouri. I came up here, and I fell in love with the place. Culture, the coaches, the teammates, everybody. I remember I was sitting at Harry and Izzy's in the airport, or Harry was it restaurant in the airport, and in the Indianapolis airport, calling the Missouri coaches like, "Hey, I'm coming to Purdue."
Wow.
So yeah, never really
looked
back since.
So here you are, a candidate for the John Mackey Award for the best tight end in the country, and you've made great friends. Aiden O'Connell, your quarterback, had the wedding late July.
Yep.
Now, I want to hear the story about your hairstyle, what you wanted to do, what he told you, and then your mother's reaction to all. Now, this is a guy that had a mullet in lacrosse, so that's a different story.
Yeah.
But take us back to summer.
I've had a few hairdos in my day.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know if you can see, it's receding pretty bad, so I try to keep it long, hold on to it as long as I can. But, this whole summer I had my hair is naturally curly, long curly hair. And a bunch of the guys, I think Eric Miller, left tackle, Gus Hartweg, a center, and Jared Brzezinski, who's a guard for us, all got together and we were like, well, for fall camp, let's shave our heads. Why not? It's me and Eric's last fall camp. And it'd be funny, cool off, let's shave our heads. So Aiden caught wind of that, and this was like a week before his wedding. He said, if you guys shave your heads, you're not coming my way.
Oh!
I said, okay, that's fair. And then we had Big Ten Media Day, like 2 days before his wedding. Yeah. And he was like, also, do you want to go there with a bald head? And I was like, okay, that's fair. Probably shouldn't. So I promised Aiden I would wait. So I think it was the day after his wedding. Me and Eric got home, shaved our heads. We did Fu Manchus, or I did Fu Manchu. He just did normal one. We dyed him dark. And I FaceTimed my mom immediately after. And my mom, God-fearing, good Southern woman, she let out a few words that I haven't heard her say in a while. So she wasn't happy with me, but it grew back. So that's what I kept telling her. It was going to come back eventually. So,
well, Payne, getting back to the playing field in your days in the Big Ten or out of the Big Ten, as a tight end, what's the toughest hit tackle you've taken? That one that rang the bell?
Yeah. Last year, Illinois at home, second quarter. I was running a crossing route across the middle, and Sidney Brown, number 30, their safety, came and cleaned me up pretty good. My helmet rolled to about the sideline. Had a pretty serious concussion on that one. So by far, that was I didn't know my name for a few days on that one. So by far, and I saw him at media day, and I talked to him, and we're actually good buddies now because he almost killed me. So, but yeah, he's a good dude, and hopefully I get the chance to do that to him this year. So I can get a little payback for him.
Yes. Now, as far as tight ends at the college level or the next level, who do you emulate or look up to the most, or maybe even someone retired?
Obviously a Gronk fan. I think every tight end as a kid's a Gronk fan. But now I watch a lot of Tyler Higbee for the Rams. I watch a lot of him. I love the way he plays. He was coached by Brahm at Western Kentucky.
Wow.
And he's a heck of a tight end. And then George Kittle, Travis Kelce, obviously, big name guys. And then for me, I looked when I got here, it was Bryson Hopkins and Cole Herdman, and Bryson's playing for the Rams now. And I looked up to those guys unbelievably, and they taught me a ton of stuff. So it's kind of weird that now I'm the old guy and there's younger guys, and it's all weird for me. But yeah, Tyler Higbee, I would say, is the guy I try to model my game after and look at it a lot. So
you're locked in on this season, but come 2023, what are your aspirations at the next level as far as doing that?
Yeah, whatever God has in store for me, I'm willing to accept. I'm gonna, try to play my tail off this season, like I always will for this team, and worry about stats and all that other stuff at the end. Go train somewhere and see what happens. And if football is not in my story, then I'm okay with that. My identity's not just as a football player, so. I would like to keep playing, though. I think I definitely have goals for myself to keep playing further after this. So we'll see what happens.
That's awesome. Next week, we're going to be on at 7:30 here at Mad Mushroom. Mad Mushroom does so many good things. Recently, they had the Free Cheese Sticks Day.
Yep.
When we were here, we went on a little late, and it benefited Food Finders Food Bank, and everybody loves coming here.
Yes,
and,
they do.
So you got to find a way to get those cheese sticks to Georgia.
Correct. I know. I'm gonna have to talk to somebody about that for sure. Normally, Saturday night in the off season, of course, it's a pretty quick walk for me from across the street to pick up some sticks. But no, I got to find a way to get those shipped down there.
Well, as we start to hit the stretch run, let me hit you with a few rapid fire questions.
Let's hear 'em.
What's your favorite movie you've watched ever, from kid to this year?
I'm a big war movie guy.
Okay.
So I got to go Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, wow.
Probably.
Yeah.
But then, The Dark Knight, that's a good one too.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
probably tie between those two.
Vin Diesel in Saving Private Ryan.
Unbelievable.
That scene was
Yes.
really hard to watch.
Correct.
Powerful movie.
Yeah.
And Heath Ledger, you talk about that performance.
Unbelievable. It makes you cheer for the villain.
Yeah.
People remember the villain of the movie,
Yeah.
me and Aiden's a huge Joker fan as well. We always kind of make funny quotes to each other.
Okay.
But
What's his favorite Joker line?
it's a small line. It's not really one of his famous lines, but he's driving the semi truck.
Yeah.
And he goes, rack 'em up, rack 'em up, rack 'em up. When the police helicopter's coming, they
Okay.
shoot the wire and knocks the helicopter down.
Okay.
So during games, I've heard him say, rack 'em up, rack 'em up. And it's like his motivational thing, I guess. I don't know, but he says it all the time.
Yeah.
So
One time the 49ers were in the Super Bowl with Joe Montana, and it was against the Bengals, and it was tense. And Montana looked up and said, "Hey, there's John Candy," and he loosened the whole huddle.
And that it really works.
Yeah.
You can never let the moment be too big.
Right.
There's plenty of times in that Tennessee game where we get in a huddle and, hey guys, you see my mom in the stands? I'm just joking around and stuff. And obviously we're still focused and locked in, but
Right.
That's the type of stuff that, like you said, lets you play better, honestly.
Any favorite books or any kind of whether you read online or?
Yeah, I'm reading Savage Son right now by Jack Carr, and I'm really enjoying that. I watched Terminal List, which is the first book in that series, and I believe Savage Son's the third. So I'm reading that right now, and enjoying it so far.
Other than cheese sticks, if you could eat one food the rest of your life, what's right up there?
Honestly, it might be pizza.
Yeah.
I have to be very careful with how much pizza I eat because I could eat it for every meal. And I don't want to move to left tackle.
Sure.
I like playing tight end, so I have to be very careful with that. So probably pizza, honestly.
So in November, Payne Durham is now at left tackle.
Seriously,
Coach Baum is.
It's because you saw me in here too many times.
Oh, man. Well, anything you'd like to say to the Purdue fans out here in West Lafayette, this part of Indiana, in the country?
Yeah, definitely. Unwavering support from the fans, and thank you guys for coming. But seriously, in my time here, it's been unbelievable. I've talked to people that I went to school with that went on to do great things, but just the alumni here, it's such a powerful organization. It's such a powerful club to be a part of, and I couldn't be more thankful to be a part of it. I've made great connections through Purdue, and I know I will continue to make great connections through Purdue. So, on and off the field, you guys do so much for us. And I couldn't be more thankful. And I say that on behalf of the team. We really owe it all to you guys because without you, none of this is possible. So.
Well, we sure have enjoyed having you on. And on behalf of Tom Brew, Brett Douglas, and Bella Monroe, and everybody, Haley Jordan at Boilers Live, it's been our pleasure. You're very personal. I can see where you could be very successful in sales.
Thank you very much.
Excellent
I appreciate
communicator.
It. Thank you.
And everything. And we look forward to this game on ESPN2. Middle of the day kind of game, right?
Noon,
noon. Take care of business and everything. And we look forward to talking to you and following you the rest of the year. Boilers Live again next week will be on at 7:30 Eastern, 7:30 instead of 7. So we've had Aiden King and now Payne, and we thank you as always for listening and following all of the things that we do here. And I'll be back next week. I'm Charlie Adams, wishing you a very nice night. And it's going to be hot these next. I'm glad you guys are playing in a dome instead of at home. Good night, everybody, and thanks to everyone here at Mad Mushroom.